We are just ticking off the lockdown cliches one at a time, aren't we? Gravel bikes, mountain bikes, haircuts. Don't worry, you are safe from Everesting. But there is one that I do want to dive into. So hit the intro, because it is time to have a chat about how to build and ride your lockdown routes. So welcome back to the channel, guys. Now I want to make today's video pretty comprehensive. So we're going to talk about actually creating, building the route, as well as actually physically riding it. There's little point me going into the specifics of my 5K radius rides. Fat lot of good that's going to do to a cyclist in St Kilda. I will obviously still share the routes that I am using down below, and I would love if you guys did the same. How cool would it be if the comment section became a little mini resource for everyone over the next couple of months? Anyway, on with the vlog. Okay, my top 5 tips for building your lockdown routes. At number 1, make a circle. Really challenge yourself to make a circle or a loop, because there are so many benefits to this. The first is, well, you've just created 2 routes for the price of 1. And the second is the sense of achievement from actually accomplishing a loop is just so much higher. Okay, so how to do that? Well, the best way to start is by challenging yourself to leave your street the opposite direction at which you return. At least that way, you're not backtracking from kilometer 0. I'm not saying don't use out and backs as part of your route. I would probably argue they're pretty much unavoidable. But if you start at a different way in which you came in, you are a far better chance of creating that loop. And trust me, you will thank me if you can. Now, number 2, and I want to get into the specifics of the actual route build here. Avoid traffic lights in favor of roundabouts and prefer left turns over right turns. In other words, number 2 is prioritize flow. Forced stops are your enemy, so try and avoid intersections. But where you can't, try to make them a turn that is easier to keep flow. So for us here in Australia, that left turn is far easier and less dangerous to continue to move through than a more dangerous right-hand turn. Number 3, not number 6. Number 3, chase vertical. Hills are your friend for 2 reasons. The first, no matter how good your smart trainer is, it can't fully replicate that feeling of climbing a real life outside climb. And the second reason, your 5K route is most likely on a suburban street. Hills will slow you down. If you are punching out a 500 watt effort on a downhill flat suburban street, you are asking for a car door or a kid on a scooter to end your day very swiftly. Uphills slow you down. Number 4. Number 4, go somewhere. Seriously, just give yourself a target. Make it somewhere you like. Maybe it's your favorite cafe, not that you're stopping, or your favorite park, but at least somewhere that you would like to go. So not only does it give you a target location to try and get to, but if you try and set yourself the challenge of going there a different way that you come back, you're well on the way to making that perfect donut. Not the donut at the cafe, the donut of the route. And number 5, stalk people. Now, I haven't gone into the particular route building applications and platforms out there, and to be honest, that's mostly because I use Strava. And well, the size of the Strava community is its real benefit here. Heat maps, all that stuff are great, but nothing beats a good old-fashioned Strava stalk. So search out the athletes in your area and see what they're doing. Or just linger around their house. Don't do that. I'll tell you that story one day. Moving on. Okay, now we have built the route. Let's get into actually riding it. And I think we might have a few little controversial ones. But before we do, if you are enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. These things have real impact on what the team can achieve going forward. So if you want to help out, liking and subscribing is the cheapest and the easiest way to do that. We want to drag cycling out of the old school boys club dark ages, so for you guys to support this channel makes that much easier for us to achieve. My number one tip for riding your route is avoid family-friendly times. So you've created a really good route with a mix of back streets and bike paths. Best to avoid those times of day or days of the week when those areas are going to be used by families. So instead of Sunday afternoon, if you have the flexibility in your lockdown schedule, maybe try like Wednesday morning. Hell, you're in lockdown. Just be conscious that the time of day that you choose will not only affect your ability to ride, especially with flow, but also those around you. Picking up on that theme, number 2, don't ride with headphones. 2 reasons for this. The first one's the obvious one, the safety thing. Now you're probably on back roads now, you're around kids, you're around families, you've got cars pulling out and in. You need all your senses, especially your oral ones. Don't clog them up with beats. But the other one, if you're anything like me, you're probably doing 4 or 5 trainer sessions a week with headphones on, inside. You're outside now. Just enjoy it. Listen to the birds. Okay, picking up on that, number 3, smash it. You heard me. Keep your zone 2 for a Vuelta replay or a work conference call on the trainer. This is your chance to get some blood in the mouth. Now, obviously, be smart about this. If some dude messages me next week and says they were doing a VO2 effort past a Coles trolley collection zone and they got collected, well then, more fool you. Use your hills, but just go whack it, right? Number 4, and picking up again on that, is run a heavy bike. Maybe it's a gravel bike, maybe it's a mountain bike, maybe it's an old banger, just something that's heavier and slower and will slow you down. Keep the race rig at home for these local rides. What I've actually found running the gravel bike is the gravel bike's position, being that little bit more upright, has made me far more visible to others, and also just generally being able to see around over things. Actually, while I'm talking about that, a t-shirt. I've been running all my rides with a t-shirt. Now, it kind of picks up on the whole slowing me down type thing, but I've also found that I come across as less intimidating on those sort of shared paths. Going past people with the bell, they're less like, oh, guy in lycra. It's guy in a t-shirt. Kind of helps. Pro tip. My 5th and final tip, it is never perfect. Don't settle for what you think is the perfect lockdown route. Sure, use the route that you've developed as the basis for your route, but every time you go out there, try at least one different street, one new path. You don't want to turn this route into a monotonous route that you just, as soon as you roll out, you're almost looking forward to the end of because you know how it plays out. If you can put a portion of this route in that you're like, I wonder what's going to happen when I get to that bit. But don't go too far with that. Don't get too creative because, well, there's a reason certain roads aren't being ridden. You don't want to do like 10 different streets, and by the time you've done that, it's just like, well, I've just wasted half an hour going up and back this stupid waste of time straight. But keep it fresh. Speaking of keeping it fresh, you guys probably know that I've been changing it up a little bit using Full Gas, the virtual smart trainer platform. Well, what we're actually hoping to do is put some of the 5K radius rides that I've been doing and some of the guys in the team have been doing up on that platform. As I speak to you today, we're working through one of the rides that I've done to get that up there. As soon as it goes live, I'll get a link down in the description. You guys can chase that up and have a look at it. So there you go. Baby Yoda's and my 5 tips for building and riding the best lockdown routes. Guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Obviously, this is just trying to make this whole thing a little bit more fun, but I would like to hear your thoughts. So the people in Europe are probably watching this vlog going, is this 2021 or 2020? I thought we did all this stuff. You guys are more experienced. Maybe you can let us know. Because yes, it is the end of August in Australia in 2021 in Sydney, and we are indeed in lockdown for the foreseeable future. In other quick news, we're pretty close to getting the majority of the parts for this. End of September maybe for the full build on the Meta. But while I do have you,
it is going to be a selective bunch finish, but Jay Vine has not finished yet either. This is wonderful. Wow.
Go on, son.
That we're doing the chase thought that's it. We're done.
Have a rip, boy. Good lad himself.
speaking of the man himself, I'm hoping to be able to catch up with him on the second rest day at the Vuelta. It's hoping, because don't really know the logistics of what that day is going to look like for him just yet. But if you do have some questions, let us know. But while I do have you, I just want to shout 2 bits of tech that I've been running recently and give you a little bit of feedback on them that we'll keep working on, all right? The first one is the Cyclic Fly 6 version 3 or generation 3, which has just been released. It's just over $300. Now, 3 things you need to know about this. The first is that they have done a massive upgrade. They've listened to some of the criticism on the day flash, and the day flashing is now a viable solution. But, and this is the second thing you need to know, that really hinders the battery life. You're not getting 3 hours on this device with the day flash and the video running. And unfortunately, that's a deal breaker for me. The third thing you need to know, and I think this is more of a functionality ad, which I need to see before I can recommend it, and that is for this to lean into a little bit more of it being a video sharing device rather than the safety thing. A feature that I think would really leap it forward would be the ability to take the footage off this and put it on your smartphone while you're out and about. So use maybe a Bluetooth or a Wi-Fi connection to your smartphone the way the GoPro does and take some footage off it. For example, if you're at a cafe or something after a ride and you've got this and you want to go, I'll show you that bit of footage of us going down the descent, guys. You could easily just connect to this, grab the 3 minutes of that descent and share it to the guys at the cafe while you're there and pop it on Instagram or do whatever you do. That said, I'm gonna keep using the Fly 6. I really want this company to work. I mean, it's an Aussie company trying stuff, doing new things. They're just a couple of features short at the moment for a full recommendation. So look, watch this space. And the other bit of tech I'm going to test out is the Hydra gun. Now, the guys did reach out to me to get in touch and do a review on this, which I'm more than happy to do. Well, it's funny because like in the past, it's not something that's interested me in any way, shape or form because, you know, every couple of months I've got a massage or something and that's kind of made me feel good. Lockdown sort of changed that. You're left to your own devices in terms of your recovery. So what I'd love to know, guys, is do you have any questions on this? So the guys are about to come back. We're gonna crack on. Yeah, we've got another month of this at least. All right, so yeah. You've got me in a garage and a kitchen until then. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Big shout to Kira for her Home Learning Award. And let's be honest, my wife. Wow, that's all I can say right now. Alrighty guys, thumbs up.